Hi, my name is Carrol Garrison. I've been a member here at Southminster for around 6 years, I think, somewhere between 5 and 10. This church has been my home from the minute I walked in the door. And the story that I'm going to tell is one that I told a couple of years ago, but it really speaks to the time that God was most present in my life in a way that still resonates with me today. Some of you will know this story, but I wanted to tell it again because it's so powerful for me. I think it was in 2018 when the world on all levels was falling apart for me. And on top of that, my dad, who had come to the house to help me mow, fell on the driveway, face planted, while Mom and I were gone on an errand. And we got a call from the neighbors saying that my dad had fallen, that she'd called 911. When we got there, I saw my dad face down on the concrete with blood running in several streams from his head, a sight I'll never forget. 911, the ambulance got there, took care of things as they do, and took him to St. Al's, which is the trauma hospital. Mom and I followed and saw a sight we don't want to see again. Heard from the doctors the second day that he likely would not live, that he had several bleeds on the brain. And my mother, who was a retired nurse, knew what that meant, that there's brain damage and other complications. Anyway, Ruth Goldthwait, who is a member of the church here and was the chaplain at St. Al's, came in to visit with us, was wonderfully caring, prayed with us. When we weren't there, she would look in on Dad. He couldn't speak. He was just lying there with his eyes closed. And I think after about a week, they finally were able to get him to take some fluids, but again, it wasn't looking very good. To cut to the chase, he was moved to a rehabilitation, not hospital, assisted living home for 3 months. And at the end of that 3 months, my dad could talk to us, he recognized us, he was beginning to take steps. And now here we are at the end of 2020, and the man that I thought I would lose walks around the block every day. Everything came back for him. We expected if he recovered, there would be significant brain damage. And the only thing that doesn't work is one of his legs forgot how to walk. And through a lot of physical therapy, even that came back, although he does it slowly. So that in itself is a miracle to me, but what really touched me was from the moment that happened, and I contacted folks here at the church, then prayers started happening, we got help from the church, we found out later that the prayer chain had gone across the country, that people told people who put my dad on the prayer chain. And I have no doubt that because of God's guiding hand and all the people that were praying, as well as my father's excellent physical condition, that we got my dad back. He's now 95 and goes outside and works in the yard every day. At this point, he has macular degeneration, so he doesn't see very well, but he manages to cook dinners and make apple pies and do the mowing. So for me, this whole thing is a complete miracle. Miracle of faith, miracle of help from people that pitched in, who prayed, brought meals. But like I said at the beginning, I still see in my mind that man lying on the concrete face down with the blood and thinking I'd never see my dad alive. And those of you who come to church regularly have seen him and my mom walk in here every Sunday before COVID and sit down. So there have been times in my life when I thought, well, there's a higher power and there's probably a God, but. And after that experience, I have no doubt that there is a God in the world, by whatever name we call him or her, that watches out for us and cares for us.